Your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Such a fun day yesterday at the ballpark. All my worlds collided, I mean, you got college football going on. You got pro football going on upstairs in the Budweiser Terrace with the greatest show on turf in the house. Got to do a Q&A with them. Mike Martz, Ricky Prohl, Mike Jones. Great to see the turnout yesterday for that. Fans were up there roaring and having fun and seeing those guys. And then going downstairs and doing Cardinals pregame. And a big house yesterday, 41,317 to see the Cardinals beat the Guardians 6-5. I know the season is over in terms of the playoffs, but it's not over for Jordan Walker. He needs to get those at-bats. He hits a big home run. Ivan Herrera gets a big opportunity. Those are encouraging moments for them as the Cardinals get their season already started for 2025 and try to figure out what they're doing. Oli Marmol will be with us at 10:15. John Mozeliak at 11:30. Bernie Miklasz is going to chime in on the Cardinals. He's at 10:45 this hour. And, all those worlds colliding just makes for a fun sports day. I was sneaking peeks at the Missouri game, then I was watching it intently. Once our Cardinals pregame ended, I stayed down in the Busch Stadium studio. I had the Cardinals on TV, but I had the Mizzou game on my phone, and I was watching SEC Network on my iPhone. And I mean, boy, did they escape with one yesterday. Gee whiz. I mean, that season is coming to a close, I think, if you lose to Vanderbilt, right? I mean, you get really bumped out of the playoff picture there unless you can pull off a win at A&M or Bama. I think they can beat Oklahoma at home based on what I saw from Oklahoma yesterday, losing to Tennessee. But, man, I mean, you can't lose that game, and they find a way to sneak it out. Geez, I mean, 30-27 in double overtime, but they're 4-0. I mean, they found a way to overcome mistakes, and they beat Boston College, and they beat Vanderbilt. There is a lot to work on there. Eli Drinkwitz is going to come on the show today at 11:45 from Columbia. He will call in, and we will talk about it. I mentioned Mozeliak. So here's the full lineup. It's Oli Marmol at 10:15. He's going to be with us in about 7 minutes, as he always is. This will be his second to last Sunday visit of the season. We'll have one more next Sunday before the Cardinals visit the San Francisco Giants. Then at 10:30, Gibson Jimerson. You talk about a guy who has to be excited for a college basketball season. He's back for another year with SLU, and he has fun offense to work with. Josh Schertz's Indiana State offense, that 5-out motion offense with Robbie Avila as the hub, finding cutters, finding open shooters, and Gibson is the best three-point shooter SLU's ever had. And he will have a fun year, I think. Well, I want to get the perspective from him, what SLU practice looks like and what this team could look like in 2024-25. Gibson Jimerson at 10:30. Bernie Miklasz back with us at 10:45 today. He will join us live to discuss the Cardinals, Mizzou, and other topics. That's on the way. 11:05, a very special in-studio visit from Julius Hunter. Julius yesterday threw out the first pitch at the ballpark, and it was really a neat moment for him. He grew up in St. Louis. He was a longtime news anchor at KMOV. He is a legendary figure in the local television market here. He also received Friday night at the Landmarks Association Gala the Lifetime Achievement Award for his contributions to preserving St. Louis's historic architecture and culture. That ceremony was held at La Verona on the Hill. And Julius also had a bucket list item last night. He always wanted to read the disclaimer on the Cardinals broadcast. This copyrighted telecast is this copyrighted broadcast. So he did the radio one last night on our broadcast, which I thought was cool. So we'll have him in to talk baseball and life. And then at 11:30, John Mozeliak, 11:45, Eli Drinkwitz. We're not going to talk to Lutz today. His team did win 2-1 last night against San Jose, but I offered a Sunday off for Lutz. That's a late game, late travel, early morning turnaround. So we'll have Lutz on later this week on Total Information AM. No Blues guests today. I know that hockey fans want to hear that, but they have a practice today. They have a game today as well. So the staff, everybody is really stretched thin today. They always get that 10:45 if they want it. But today is a difficult day for them to do a live interview on sports on a Sunday morning. They lost 2-1 last night at Dallas in their first preseason game. They're going to play Utah tonight in Des Moines. So Iowa fans, let's get some Iowa fans on board with the Blues. They've played out in Kansas City. They play up in Des Moines. get some regional heartland of hockey Blues action going here around this area. So they're going to play at Wells Fargo Arena tonight, the Blues will, but you can see them at Centene right now. There's practice going on there. So the Blues are kind of all over the place today. So a lot to get to. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. Again, my takeaways. Good game for the Cardinals, even though it doesn't count anymore. It does count for those younger players and some other players to gain some confidence for 25. Don't know what this 25 roster is going to look like. That is going to be one of many intriguing storylines of this offseason. The Tigers got away with one. Now it's time to lock down bye week, and Texas A&M 2 weeks away as the SEC schedule gets tougher. And the NFL, we have a game tonight, the Chiefs and the Falcons. Chiefs so far so good. They've passed 2 tests against 2 good teams, the Ravens and the Bengals. Now they go down to Atlanta and play the Falcons. They don't have running back Isaiah Pacheco, so we'll see what they end up doing with Perrine and with Carson Steele, the 21-year-old, former Ball State, former UCLA Bruin, will get the bulk of the carries, I would think. But, this is always about what Patrick Mahomes can do through the air, and if Kansas City can do their job, they should be 3-0. But we'll have that game tonight on KMOX at 7:20. Big NFL Sunday. Week 3 is upon us. A lot to get to. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. Oli Marmol, Cardinals manager, comes up next.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. Or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Weather can be unpredictable nowadays, but your local news station on the free Audacy app has got you covered. Whether you need an umbrella, windbreaker, or an extra layer, or 2, we'll let you know. Download the free Audacy app and search for your local news station to listen on your smartphone or ask your smart speaker to play it before you head out the door. Download the free Audacy app and search for your local news station. That's AUDACY.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
I don't know how to ask.
They know what sounds are funny.
Or what smells are funky.
That's right. No one knows their furnace like they do. So go ahead, ask.
Okay. Is your furnace funky?
If it is, then make but one call.
And Jerry Kelly will be there the very next day.
Call anytime, 8 to 8, 8 days a week.
And Jerry Kelly will fix your furnace or install a new one the very next day.
JerryKelly.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. Our attorneys will hold truck drivers and owners accountable. We stand up to big trucking companies to get you the compensation you deserve. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law today for a free review. 314 or 618-9-million. That's 314 or 618-9 all zeros.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, the director of Siteman Cancer Center, Dr. Tim Eberlein.
The new building is going to be focused on clinical care and accrual to clinical trials, and it'll integrate radiology evaluation of patients.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Now the Manager's Chat, presented by Siteman Cancer Center. Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer.
The outfielders are shading this right-handed batter toward right. A swing and a miss, and that's a Redbird winner. Helsley strikes out the side, and the Cardinals beat the Guardians. Light up the night in downtown St. Louis. 6-5, the Redbirds over the Guardians.
John Rooney with the call last night on KMOX as the Cardinals get the win 6-5 over the Cleveland Guardians. Great final moments there from Ryan Helsley and crew. And joining us is the manager of the Cardinals, Oliver Marmol. Good morning, Ollie. Good win last night.
Morning. How we doing?
Doing well. Good crowd last night, too. I was in the house last night, and just a great energy in the house. I'm sure that warms your heart to see that support to finish out the year.
It does, man. And they were into the game. It was a good one. A lot of good things happened yesterday. Some good swings as well. Good to see Jordan do what he's doing right now. Ivan Herrera taking a big swing as well. And then, man, Helsley, lights out. I said it last night, a race to the closers, man. They got a good one. We have a really good one. And it was fun to see him out there with the 1-run lead and punch out the side.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it was a tough one for JoJo Romero, and things do happen throughout the course of a season. And then Kittredge and Liberatore, to clean that thing up as Kit has been doing all year. That guy set a franchise record for holds yesterday.
He's been incredible, man. And it's so important to have a guy like him to get you to Helsley. Him and JoJo, Kit and JoJo have done a really nice job all year, man. We're at the tail end. They feel good. They feel healthy. Kittredge has been incredible. It happens, man. JoJo got beat yesterday. 3 straight righties got him. But for Libby to come in, and he's continuing to just take just more leverage innings, man, and his overall presence and determination and conviction behind what he's doing has been fun to watch. It really has been.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think because the game was so tight, and everybody knows how many tight games you've been involved in this year, but the game was so tight, I think maybe what got overshadowed a little bit was the start from Miles Michaelis, because it was a quality start. It was one that has evaded him. He's had a lot of ups and downs this year, and he would tell you all about it. A quality start and a very good start for Miles, something to build on perhaps as he heads into the offseason.
No doubt about that, man. He lived on the edges. He was able to kind of expand when needed and get some softer contact on some chase pitches and pitcher advantage counts. He did a really nice job, man. He had a good mix. He used the fastball on both sides of the plate, but he just stayed out of the middle, out of the heart of the plate. And Homer got him, but outside of that, man, I thought he did a really nice job. I mean, we all know he pitches to contact. This lineup doesn't punch out a whole lot, man. They got a lot of gritty at-bats. They put a lot of balls in play, and I felt like he did a really nice job.
And I know we all get excited about the home run from Ivan Herrera, and so should we, and so should he. It's a 3-run shot. He hadn't hit a home run since April 10th. I know it's been a tough year, and all that is great, but how did he catch yesterday? He catches Miles Michaelis in that game. He overcomes the 4-run inning and finishes it out for you. How is Herrera behind the plate?
He's getting much better. This has been a point of emphasis for Herrera all year, even in the offseason leading into spring training. Just his ability to slow the game down. And at this level, you have a lot of information, your ability to take all that in and use it when needed. Our staff isn't the easiest, man. You got a lot of veteran dudes that have a lot of pitches and a lot of different ways to get out based on what they're feeling. And Miles fits into that. So for him to navigate that lineup, I think Ivan's doing a much better job when it comes to the game calling and just having a reason for why he's calling certain pitches. And at times it's not going to work out, but as long as there's a reason for, hey, here's what I'm thinking, here's what I was trying to set up. And I do feel like we're taking really good steps in that direction.
I've been framing this all morning as the Cardinals, I know, are out of playoff contention. It's rare that they play games where they're not in contention, but it is what it is. But the season isn't over, and the season certainly has a lot on the line for those players, doesn't it? I mean, Herrera's trying to show you what he can do and for himself, but also this path that's open for Jordan Walker to show what he can do on a daily basis. You have to feel good. He has to feel great about everything finally coming to fruition for him. And he's so young, Oli. There's a lot to come.
You're absolutely right. This is a great opportunity, and it's exciting. It's energizing to see this many young guys up here having an opportunity to show what they're capable of doing headed into next year. And Jordan's definitely one of those, man. I've spent about an hour with him early this morning, and just hearing him talk through where he's at physically, mentally, and just where he's at with his offense, but also his defense and the steps that he's taken in order to get better. There's a lot of room there for him to continue to show what he's capable of. This is a guy that, I mean, his ceiling, who knows what it is? It's high. And the more he's able to talk through it and create plans for how to get there, the quicker we're gonna reach that, man. But he's been good. He's been really good so far.
He seems like so wise for his age and open to ideas. And I know it's hard, but it is a long season. One of those things you learn. Mason Wynn, we almost take for granted how durable he's been. 142 games at shortstop for him. That's a lot. That's a lot on the body, and he's learning, of course, how to manage it. He looks good too. You got a lot of young players. Oli, what do you see here? What is the vision for your team? Actually, let me ask you this first. What's the difference between how you feel about your team this year and last year? I recall last year at this time, it was, you're trying to get to the finish line here. And I asked you around this time of year, what do you want for 2024? And you said, I want winning players. I just want players who want to win, something along those lines. How do you feel about your club right now compared to how you felt a year ago?
Not even close, man. That last year was terrible. For a lot of reasons. Yes, the record, that's one thing, but you also weren't headed in a direction that gave any type of hope as to what's possible for the organization moving forward, right? So, like, there's times where you don't have the season you want, but you still feel good about where it's headed. This is one of those, right? Like, we have a lot of young guys. Did we have the season we wanted to? No. Do I feel like if we were more consistent as an offense, I mean, we've talked about the runners in scoring position. That's just part of it. But if we did some things better, we'd be in a different position. Yes. But when you look at this club and you're able to remove yourself emotionally from the win-loss column and just say, all right, where are we headed? There's a lot to be excited about for the future. And you got some young guys in Donovan, Burleson, Newport, JC, Walker. You go down that list, man, Mason, Herrera, Pajes, Yanni, Victor Scott. I mean, that's a lot of first or second year guys, all bunched into one club, right? So when you look at where are we headed, what's possible for the organization when you look 1, 2, 3 years down the road, then there's a lot to be excited about. They're gonna take it in the chin from time to time. It's not going to look the way we want it to, but with young players, that's just part of it at times. But I do feel really good about the mentality of where our guys are and what's possible for them. And it's our job to create plans to get them there and kind of expedite that timetable a little bit.
I'll be curious to see what the rotation looks like and how these contracts are handled, obviously. And it's probably a better question for John Mozeliak here in a little bit. But
I would agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. But Sonny Gray going down opens an opportunity for Michael McGreevy to give you another start. He'll get to do that in Colorado.
It does. And here's the thing. Sonny's posted, and it just doesn't make sense to continue to push them through any type of soreness based on where we are with the standings. Could you? Absolutely. But is it the smartest thing? I have to say no. But it does open up a spot for McGreevy to take a couple starts and show what he's capable of doing at this level. He's been with us now for 2 outings, and they both look good, but it'll be good to see him prepare for an outing and know that he's going to take a couple starts here.
You will have Andre Palante on the hill. Here's another one who, what a season if you really think about it. And going back to that conversation that the two of you had, and he made his case, didn't he, that he thought that starting could work well for him. He, I think, kind of bet on himself. Seems like it worked out.
Yes. That one I'm excited about, man, because there's been a lot of work put into that one from Palante's standpoint, different departments coming together and integrating in order to get the best out of Palante as well. And for him to go down to AAA and solely work on, there's times where you go down there and you just you sulk for a little bit, and he did none of that, man. He went down there with a purpose. I need to work on my sinker. I need something to get righties out, and I need to be able to repeat this delivery enough to prove that it's possible. And that's all he worked on. And then came back up and proved that, hey, I'm already good at getting lefties out. I have this pitch now that neutralizes the righty, and if I can do that, I can give you some quality innings. And he's done exactly that. But I know I've talked about it quite a bit over the last week, but I can't speak enough to that pitching department, man. I feel like we're taking some really strong steps in the right direction with our young group, man. You look at that bullpen, and you're seeing guys have the best years of their careers based on just having some real clarity as to what makes them good and doubling down on that. And so when you look at the Libbies and Fernandez and JoJo's, and you go down that list, man, there's a lot to be excited about with some of those young guys as well.
There'll be a lot of things to talk about as 2025 approaches. So let me ask you this. If you can, describe your emotions about today, last game at Busch Stadium. And as we know, if you win the World Series, the roster changes over. Just like if you come up short, the roster will change over. It'll be the last time that you're all together in the home clubhouse at Busch Stadium. Are there emotions tied to that, or is this business today?
No, there are, man, because it's fun playing at home, especially when you're playing good baseball and this place is packed and you're playing meaningful games. It's a fun place to play. So there's emotions in it being our last home game as a group. There's certain guys that know that, man, it's like Harp's in the lineup today. It'll be fun to watch him here at home. Who knows what next year holds for him. So there's certain aspects of this that I'm looking forward to for sure.
I look forward to seeing what happens today. I always look forward to these conversations. We'll have another one next Sunday. We'll catch up with you a little bit later. I know we'll hear you on the pregame show as well. Thanks for what you do for us. So we appreciate it. We'll catch up with you soon.
You got it, brother.
Cardinals manager Oli Marmol with us, 10:28 on Sports on a Sunday morning. Cardinals play at 1:15 today against the Cleveland Guardians, who clinched the AL Central yesterday after the Royals lost to the Giants 9-0. So they had a little celebration in their clubhouse last night. I actually walked by there last night on my way out after doing the postgame show. Could hear the music still thumping in there. So Guardians are good. They're really good. I mean, I think the Yankees are certainly the team everyone's going to be watching to come out of the American League, but I think Guardians might be the best team in the American League. The Astros obviously have been the Yankees' kryptonite, and there are other teams that could make some noise as well. This thing is not even settled yet in the American League. And in the National League, who knows? Now, the Padres are still chasing down the Dodgers. They're not done yet. They look good. The Dodgers obviously are a power, and I think baseball would benefit from a Yankees-Dodgers World Series with those two big markets and all those superstar players, but it always seems to be knocked out, doesn't it? The Diamondbacks crashing the World Series last year. Something strange always happens, so buckle up for that. When we come back, Gibson Jimerson, Billikens guard with us. Bernie Miklasz at 10:45. Julius Hunter at 11:05. John Mozeliak, 11:30. Eli Drinkwitz, 11:45. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX, sponsored by Gray Bar.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free. with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
It says here that Gray Bar is a distributor.
Yeah, we support electrical and datacom projects all over the country.
So you can get me the products I need, where and when I need them?
Yeah, thanks to our national logistics network.
Any industry?
Yeah. Construction, industrial plants, schools, hospitals.
So you could say Gray Bar is much more than a distributor.
Yeah, you could say that. When you need a hand powering, connecting, or maintaining your operations, join the thousands of professionals who rely on Gray Bar to help keep them up and running. Yeah, Gray Bar does that.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Waltzes in and Quinn gets a breather as Awiru killed his dribble. Has a man in the corner. Jimerson quick pop out of the corner. Bang! And another one. 9 straight. 9 straight.
Get it? Bob Gibson? Gibson Jimerson?
I get it. Gibby. Gibson Jimerson has made more three-pointers than anybody in Billiken history tonight.
Wow.
He moved past Erwin Claggett as he hit his fourth. They were tied. Gibson's 4 of 6 from on the arc. He now has 296 97 three-pointers made.
Big night for our Billiken veterans tonight.
Absolutely. Gibson Jimerson, the all-time three-point shooter in SLU history, and joins us now on Sports on a Sunday Morning, live at 10:34. Good morning, Gibson. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Doing great. Fun to hear those highlights, isn't it? As Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr. described the action, and you are back again.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was great. I appreciate that. No, I'm excited. Yeah, I couldn't be more excited to be back.
And happy birthday. A big birthday for you yesterday.
Yeah, it was birthday yesterday, so got to relax a little bit. We had an off day, so got to kind of chill and, just kind of relax. And, it was fun. It was really fun.
That's good. It's been busy, hasn't it? What has practice been like as Josh Schertz brings his new style of offense to St. Louis University?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been a good change. Again, obviously being there for 5 years, going into my last year, I was kind of used to it, kind of knew what the system was. Everything was, but now it's different, but in a good way, I like to say. We're getting used to each other as a team and, kind of building that camaraderie on the court and off the court. Josh is he's a great coach, and I've really enjoyed playing for him. Super genuine guy. Loves to work. We work every day, and we're putting in that system now and kind of, still establishing it, but we're getting there. But I'm really excited. It's going to be a fun style of basketball for us. People are going to definitely want to watch us play.
I agree. Having watched him at Indiana State for the last couple of years and done a number of his games, that style of offense, which I know, as a girls basketball coach, I coach 8th graders, Gibson. I've tried to replicate the 5-out. I watch NBA teams kind of run some similar styles, and I know he takes some pages from them and they talk to him. It's interesting. The way I would describe it, and you would probably follow it better than me, you have the freedom to cut, to move, to get open. It does incorporate the three-point shot. Robbie Avila's kind of, as a big man, runs point in some ways, kind of like a hub around it to get you all open and to find cutters. It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'd say too, he talks about having a lot of freedom. And I think, a lot of coaches, they give a lot of freedom, but that can be debilitating at times. With him, it's freedom within sort of your function within the framework of the team and, defining what you do best and having you do that most of the time, limiting your weaknesses. But you're right. Definitely space and pace, playing super fast, shooting a lot of threes, generating a lot of layups. People think, getting threes is just hunting threes. Actually, really, if you can get a lot of layups, that causes the defense to collapse. And that's where you get those wide open kick out threes. So, for someone like me, I'm super excited to be able to, kind of play in that system, definitely show my strength. Robbie's been great. Isaiah, everybody's, bought in and it's definitely going to be exciting, fast paced style of basketball.
Robbie's a good guy. We had him here in studio recently, spending some time with us, and what a leader. And I think that he has really joined forces with you, it sounds like, and Isaiah, as three players who can help carry this team. There will be others, though. It seems like there's some good depth on this basketball team, and we'll see where that all goes. But a big team with the ability to shoot the basketball, but really I think some size is kind of exciting, isn't it?
Yeah. We got a lot of guys that are kind of in that, and obviously Robbie's big, but we got a lot of guys in the, 6'4" to 6'8" range, Kellen, AJ, myself, Larry, big guards, Kalu as well, got guys with wingspan that can be disruptive on the defensive end. Definitely help protect the basket. But yeah, we got a lot of guys that are versatile, that work well in the offense and the defense, which I'm excited about, be able to switch a lot and, switch up our defenses, which, is what you need to be able to kind of throw the other team off. But yeah, our size is awesome. Got a lot of, great athletes and got a good mix of size and athleticism and talent as well. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
I went to your first practice and sat next to Earl Austin Jr. We were sitting there watching it, and it was neat to see that collection of talent. The one that I did not get to see play, I saw him play plenty in college, was Isaiah Swope, who was hurt at that time. He's back though, isn't he? How do you describe him as a player?
Man, yeah, he's awesome. I think he might be the quickest player I've ever played against or with. He is very fast, elite shooter, off the bounce, catch and shoot. Will be fun to play next to him in that regard, but has a great handle, super fast, can get to the basket, really disruptive on defense, gets under the ball, just kind of gets under every ball screen. But yeah, he's awesome, man. He's a good leader. I've enjoyed being around him, and he's going to give us kind of a different dynamic on the team. I think will be obviously beneficial to me and Robbie and everybody else. But yeah, he's big time. He's big time.
This is Gibson Jimerson, the 6'5" guard, redshirt senior with St. Louis University, coming back for one more year. And I know you had a great relationship with Travis Ford as well. And when I used to visit with him on these Sunday mornings, he really raved about your improvement defensively, but he was so proud of you academically. I remember the day that you graduated and now you get to sport that MBA. The pride that your coach had in you and the people around you. I know that has been one of your other great accomplishments at St. Louis University.
Yeah, no. And again, it's funny, you come to college and everybody wants to talk about the basketball part, and rightfully so. Again, that's one of the main, but also there's the academic part. And for me, that was really important. And I valued that. It was unique that I could, graduate early, undergrad, and then kind of finish my master's in a year and kind of have this year to focus a little bit more on basketball. But it was something I really wanted to do. And, a lot of guys, they talk about it like they want to get through college so quickly and kind of but I've kind of been the opposite. I've wanted to kind of take my time, enjoy it, because, it's hard to replicate this time in your life. And, it's very unique. And for me, just kind of taking my time, enjoying it, have fun, get to learn both on the court and off the court. And, I was able to take advantage of that, which is, something that I really wanted to do.
And to be around your fellow students, so like you said, I like the way you put that. We don't get to do that over. All those college years are so much fun and wear St. Louis on your chest. But to be around those students, you've been in that place when it's hopping. I know that's still the dream to get SLU back to where it wants to be, winning an A-10 title. But when those students are in there and that band is going and that place is packed, you got around 10,000 rocking and rolling. It is fun, isn't it?
It's electric, man. Yeah, we've had some great games over the years, and I think this year will be no different. Like we'll pack the place out, and especially those rivalry games in conference. But yeah, man, it's hard to hear in there. It's loud, especially when you make threes and dunks and all that. I think it's gonna be exciting. We can definitely we can use all the support we can get, but it's gonna be fun. Yeah, we'll definitely have students in there, and it's gonna be loud, and it's gonna be a hard place to play for sure.
And finally, just looking ahead at what you have to come, what do these next few weeks look like? I know you're going to have some preseason games in October, and then it gets going here. How often, you mentioned you had a nice little breather yesterday. How often are you practicing, and what does this look like as you combine everything together in these last few weeks?
Yeah, we've been pretty consistent. We go about 5 days a week, usually get a day off in the middle of the week and one day on the weekend. So we've been practicing, 5 days out of the 7 days, and that'll be pretty consistent up until we start playing. Next Friday, we have our little Billiken night, so we'll do like a little scrimmage and introduce the teams to everybody, and so that'll be pretty fun, kind of a first, public appearance for everybody. Then we'll have our 2 kind of preseason games, exhibition games, and then we'll get started. But yeah, we're consistent right now. These are kind of those times where you're putting everything in, you're kind of solidifying, what everybody's role looks like and putting in plays and underneath, out of bounds and pre and all that stuff. So, we're getting through that, working together, working hard, building that camaraderie on the court and off the court. But, pretty consistent with our practicing. Got the thing next Friday, and then, outside competition's pretty close. So, it's definitely gone by fast for sure, but, couldn't be more excited for it.
Gibson Jimerson came in as a freshman in the 2019-2020 season, and here we are ready for 2024-25, and it will be a lot of fun to hear your name called again at Chaffetz Arena. It's good to have you back. We'll have all the games right here on KMOX, and I look forward to it, Gibson. Thank you so much for the time today.
Of course, man. I appreciate you having me on. I had a blast. Thank you.
You bet, and happy birthday to Gibson Jimerson. Birthday yesterday. It's going to be a fun team, folks, and I would not get too hung up on what the schedule looks like. You're coming to see the Billikens, and then we'll see. I think a lot of times some of the non-conference opponents that they try to schedule aren't really sure what to make of the Billikens. On one, how good are they? Is it worth us to try to knock them off? Will that help us, or are they too good? And are we subject to getting our butts handed to us, a lot of times? And Gibson Jimerson, Isaiah Swope, Robbie Avila. I think you can count on those 3 starting for SLU. And then beyond that, we'll see who makes that rotation. Josh Schertz tends to play 7 guys, maybe 8, but usually about 7, and really rides those starters. So it's going to be fun to see what they can pile up this year and get some wins going and get back to the NCAA tournament. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Bernie Miklasz joins us right here on KMOX.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW. I am so confident that my team will take care of every one of your service and sales needs. I'll give you my cell phone. 618-791-5470. Newbold Toyota or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding. which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/rain to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/rain. That's leaffilter.com/rain.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Ah, fall is here. Football, beautiful weather, and the changing colors of trees and shrubs. When you think of your trees, call family-owned Gamma Tree Experts. Fall is a great time to prune and fertilize your valuable trees. Our staff of certified arborists will survey your trees to determine their needs. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree Experts at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
And we welcome in Bernie Miklas for the final segment of this hour. Good morning, Bernie.
Hey, Tom. Good to be with you again, my friend.
Always good to be with you. Let's start with, let's start with Mizzou. I mean, did they save their season last night? Goodness gracious. Finally figured out a way to beat Vanderbilt. You got to beat Vanderbilt, don't you?
Yeah, Vanderbilt's better. I want to give them some credit, and they have a very experienced defense. And I think that experience showed because the Mizzou offense malfunctioned way too often yesterday. I mean, they were Mizzou crossed their own 40 11 times in that game and came away with 20 points. I mean, you got to do a lot better than that. So that's a concern. And I think the Tigers. There's two ways to look at it. The Tigers are very fortunate to be sitting here 4-0 because they certainly could have lost the game yesterday. Maybe you could say they even should have lost the game yesterday, and they had a relatively close call from Boston College. But they survived those two, except now that they go to the bye week, I think we can all agree with part two, which is they clearly need to be better, especially on offense. And they need to clean up the penalties and the blown assignments and pass coverage on defense. We know that there is a higher level that this team can get to in terms of performance, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So this will be a really important bye week. They can really put it to good use because, as we all know, the schedule gets very, very difficult after that, relatively speaking.
Absolutely. They go to Texas A&M in 2 weeks and later a visit to Tuscaloosa, not to mention Oklahoma. Coming to Columbia, those are three big games. No, you're right. You can look at it one of two ways, and it's actually both, that they should be way better than they are, but maybe they're good enough to get away with things. And now it's time to lock it down. How do you view the Cardinals as we head into 2025, or should I say finish up 2024? How do you look at this team here in these last week?
Oh, I'm sorry, Tommy. First of all, they're a better team, but there's no consolation prizes. I mean, I would hope after 71 and 91 last season that you would be a better team. I mean, that's not really saying too much, but they are better. Listen, I think we can identify a lot of reasons, but I think the number one thing that jumps out at me when you just look at basic stats, I'm not getting too fancy here. The Cardinals, going into today, are 25th in the majors, 25 out of 30 in runs per game. If you look at how many runs they allowed this season, it was below average, but it wasn't awful. And I'm not saying it's fine, it's good to be below average. I'm not saying that. I think they were 18th, 19th in runs allowed per game. And you can win with that if you have a good offense. You can win more games with that. Last year, it was a landslide. I mean, they had no chance because of their pitching was so awful all season long. This pitching staff at least gave them a chance to win more games than they did, especially the bullpen, which has been outstanding pretty much all year. They just couldn't muster enough runs. They had way too many games of scoring 3 runs or less, 2 runs or less. And needless to say, those games, and there were a lot of them, they had just a horrendous record in. So I think offense cost them any shot they had to make the playoffs or to be right there at the end in postseason contention.
I'll be very curious to see how they present this team to their fan base, meaning what do they do from the top down? If John Mozeliak and Oli Marmol are still running this team, to be honest, that is going to turn some people off, even if they are under contract and retain their jobs, not to mention the staff working with Oli. I think that fans are going to anticipate not only change on the roster, but change within the organization. I'll be curious to see how they handle that and present that to their base. That's very important.
Tom, I think this is the most important offseason the Cardinals have had since after the 1995 season going into 96. That's when Bill DeWitt and his partners took over and purchased the team. That's when Walt Jocketty, who had only been there a short while, Walt Jocketty went out and recruited Tony La Russa, and Bill DeWitt said, hey, you do whatever it takes. We really want La Russa. They made a bunch of changes. They upgraded the roster. They spent money. And they win a division title. They go from a really, really bad team in the early 90s, and they win the division title first year La Russa's here. First year DeWitt is the owner. So that transition back in early 1996, that transformed the franchise. It transformed the franchise dramatically. They need something very similar. Now, I'm not saying they can do the exact type of thing, but I'm talking about substantial changes that will alter the course, the direction of the franchise, which, as we know, is in a bad trajectory right now. One of the moves already began when Gary LaRocque decided to retire as the director of player development. So there are going to be big changes on that side. But I'm with you. and I've been kind of hollering about it. I don't. They can't tweak this. This isn't something. It's like, well, we're going to do this, then we're going to do a little bit of that, a little bit of this, coat of paint here. We'll fix some of the tiles on the roof there. They can't do that. This has got to be a really big renovation. And to your point, I hear from fans. I interact constantly, and on my YouTube channel, I mean, there's a lot of intelligent discussion about this. And I am here to tell you, from based on what I've been told by fans, they want big changes, and frankly, they want someone to take over the baseball operation. I don't like to sit here and say, fire this guy, fire that guy, fire. And listen, John Mozeliak's got a contract; he'll be here through 2025 anyway. But I think nothing short of something like that, frankly, I think fans, there's still going to be a lot of fan unrest, which is not good for the franchise.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. And then when it comes to personnel, players themselves, you need a star. You need stars to sell. And I think there are some coming. Mason Wynn is one. Jordan Walker can be. And there are others on the rise. But, Ronald Acuna doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. You have to develop those players. Going out and getting Shohei Ohtani isn't happening. They don't have that ability. So they're caught in a bit of a spot there. They need some star power, no doubt about it. And their two big stars, Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, are on the backside of their careers, unfortunately. So they're in an interesting situation there too.
Yeah, and that's the number one thing. We're getting back to what I said at the beginning about where did the Cardinals go wrong. Listen, we know that Arenado and Goldschmidt, of course, 2022, they were, Goldie won the MVP, Arenado third. They had incredible seasons. They both kind of went down last year offensively, but the numbers were still respectable. But you said, where's this leading to? And then they really went down this year. There's no ways to get around it. In some ways, both of them had their worst career in the big leagues, at least since they broke into the big leagues as like part-time players or whatever. But so when that happens, your two cornerstones, they basically hit the aging curve, and there's no coming back from that. And then the other thing, the two guys that you were counting on is going to be like, all right, what's next? Who's next? Who are our next stars? I think most people would say, well, it's going to be Walker and it's going to be Gorman. And those two guys just kind of went off the cliff this year. And there's no way to have a great offense when those four things happen: Goldie, Arenado, Walker, and Gorman. I still think Walker can be a star. I think Gorman can still be a star. I don't know why they can't fix hitters at the major league level. And it's also up to the hitters to have, a lot of control or a lot of input on making changes themselves and knowing what they have to do. But we've seen a pattern here that's very, very disturbing. And so you ask me, okay, what are they going to do for stars? I'm just sort of keeping it to what they have now. Unless this trend changes where they have young hitters that they're very excited about, and we've seen them do well. And then all of a sudden it's like, what happened there? And why can't we fix them on the major league level? I think that is one answer that has to be supplied this offseason, because they cannot continue to do this. You keep having really good young players that you draft high and they hit well, and then they stop hitting, and then no one at the major league level can get them right. That's going to bring your product down. That's going to bring your offense down in a severely damaging way. They just can't continue to do this.
Always great to hear from you. Thank you for breaking this down. I love these Sunday mornings with you, pal.
You got it, man. Looking forward to next week already, brother.
Absolutely. Subscribe to his YouTube page, Bernie Miklasz, with us on KMOX when we come back after the news. Julius Hunter's in the house. Can't wait to visit with him. Also, John Mozeliak and Eli Drinkwitz next hour.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
KMOX KEZK HD2 St. Louis.
This is KMOX, the trusted voice of St. Louis. Always live on the free Audacy app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Linda Kenyon. The latest election poll from CBS News shows Vice President Harris with a slight lead, including in the battleground states. But the economy remains a sticking point. Jennifer DePinto is CBS's Deputy Director of Surveys.
While there's been improvement, many voters still don't think things are good. And this is benefiting Donald Trump. Those who rate the economy badly are backing Trump over Harris.
Out on the campaign trail.
Later today, Harris will head to New York City for a fundraiser. Her vice presidential pick, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, hit the campaign trail yesterday in the swing state of Pennsylvania, where he courted Latino voters.
We have a long history of being home to Puerto Rican and Latino families who chose to start their lives in our state.
Trump will take a break from the campaign trail, spending the day at his Florida home. He's scheduled to hold another rally tomorrow night in Pennsylvania.
CBS's Wendy Gillette. North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein is running for governor, and he says his opponent, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, should not be elected.
This man is utterly unqualified, unfit to be the governor of North Carolina, and we're going to do everything in our power to keep that from happening.
On CNN's State of the Union, Stein cited Robinson's racist and sexually explicit comments on a pornography website. Robinson has also described himself as a black Nazi. 4 people were killed, more than 20 injured in a shooting last night in Birmingham, Alabama. Officer Truman Fitzgerald says it happened at a nightlife area of the city.
We do believe this was isolated. However, what we can point out is this speaks to the culture that we are seeing not only in Birmingham, but around our nation.
3 people died at the scene. A 4th died at a nearby hospital. No arrests so far. Hezbollah fired more than 140 rockets at northern Israel, and Israel has hit dozens of rocket launchers deep inside Lebanon. Reporter Linda Gradstein has the latest from Jerusalem.
Several Israelis were slightly wounded by the rocket barrage as Israel closed schools in northern Israel. Hezbollah said it was the first part of a response to a series of Israeli attacks last week, including thousands of exploding pagers that killed dozens of people in Lebanon, many of them Hezbollah members. Hezbollah said that an Israeli airstrike Friday in Beirut that targeted a senior Hezbollah official killed at least 45 people.
In Munich, Germany, it's Oktoberfest. Tens of thousands are marking the opening day of the 189th Oktoberfest, which will run through October the 6th. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At 11:03, we have cloudy skies and 73 degrees downtown at the Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story this hour, a St. Louis police officer is in critical condition after being struck by a car on I-70. The incident happened this morning near the Grand Boulevard exit. The officer was rushed to SLU Hospital. I-70 remains shut down eastbound past Adelaide. They hope to have it reopened within the hour. We're awaiting more information from the St. Louis Police Department. Metro Police also looking for 2 suspects who broke into the Crown Candy Kitchen. This happened Saturday morning around 4 a.m. They broke into the cash register and got away with $5. The business has been at the corner of North 14th and St. Louis Avenue for more than 100 years. The owner says there's no way he'll consider moving. He also says the crooks caused more than $1,500 in damage to the store. Police are asking for public tips and identifying the suspects. They could be in an older model Nissan Rogue with a damaged headlight. Some Illinois residents can now apply for federal aid for relief from July's severe weather.
If you were affected by the torrential rain or flash floods in St. Clair and Washington counties in Illinois, you could be eligible for FEMA's individual assistance. That could come in the form of grants for temporary housing and home repairs, as well as low-cost loans to cover uninsured property losses. President Biden signed the assistance package Friday. The funds are for both individuals and businesses who suffered the effects of the severe weather July 13th through the 16th of this year. To begin the process, you can call FEMA's 800 number or apply online at disasterassistance.gov. Julie Carpenter, KMOX News.
We could have another round of showers and thunderstorms this evening. Otherwise, cloudy and 83. Overnight 66. The shower and storm possibility will continue into tomorrow with a high of 72 degrees. Then we'll have mid-70s for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Right now, it is 74 in St. Peters, 74 in Florissant. We have 73 downtown. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
This is the Graybar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billy can win! Billy can win!
Now, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show, Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. We are with you until noon. Then I'll jump in for Cardinals pregame. We'll actually just keep it on rolling, Drew. What do you think? 12:20 for pregame. I'll join for a little bit before that, leading you up to the network pregame, 1:15 first pitch. Rain is still kind of hanging around, but seems like we're going to be okay for the start of this game. Always a chance of a thunderstorm popping up. You just heard the forecast from Scott Jagow, so we will keep an eye on that. Well, last night was a fun night at the ballpark. There was a lot going on. The 25th anniversary of the greatest show on turf, the 1999 Super Bowl champion St. Louis Rams were in the house. The Cardinals won the game 6-5 over the Guardians in front of 41,317. And in attendance, throwing out one of the first pitches of the evening was the Lifetime Achievement Award winner for his contributions to preserving St. Louis's historic architecture and culture. He received that from the Landmarks Association Gala on Friday night. That ceremony was held at La Verona on the Hill, and it was great to see him. It was great to hear him in the booth, and it is great to have him in studio today as we celebrate our friend, Julius Hunter.
Hey,
how you doing, buddy?
I'm fine. How is everybody?
Everybody's doing great. Yep. What was it like last night being back at the ballpark?
Well, I have not spent as much time at the ballpark as I should have over my, 50-some-year career in St. Louis. But I always have a ball when I'm there. People are always so friendly. And I was able to have, at that ball game last night, all my children, my 2 daughters, my 4 college-age grandchildren, my sons-in-law. I even had the sons-in-law there, and they were in from Pasadena, Los Angeles, Syracuse, Boston, and Concord. They were all here. We had a great time.
I'll bet you did. How did you do out there? You had Jose Fermin catching your first pitch?
I loved it, and I was able to speak to him in Spanish, which I think sort of rocked him as I walked out there. But I think it's going to go down in history that I threw out that pitch and threw out my back at the same time.
Oh, jeez.
So,
Julius, the longtime KMOV news anchor, you know him well from a lot of years, not only on TV, but you are a great friend to KMOX. We shared that building with you. You've told me some great stories about exchanges with Jack Buck and Joe Buck down in that garage.
Oh, I got to tell you, Jack Buck and I had a wonderful, crazy relationship. We sort of felt each other out. I mean, we'd either play straight man or the comic each time we saw each other. I think the funniest story with regard to Jack is he and I parked our cars about 2 spots apart in the garage under the building. And one day, it was playoff season. You probably can back time what year it was, but I was running in late to get to Channel 4. And I passed Jack's car, and the window was rolled down, and Jack had his head thrown back, and he was motionless. And so I went running past him, and I thought, suppose this guy has had a stroke or something. Or, I sort of cautiously went back to the car, and I said, Jack. And he turned his head over, and he was one of those guys that could raise one eyelid and all. I don't know. I've seen that a couple of times, but he raised the one eyelid. He goes, "Oh, Hunter, how are you?" I said, "No, how are you?" He says, "Oh, I'm fine." He says, "Playoffs, I can't get any sleep upstairs at the station. I can't get any sleep over at the ballpark. So I was just taking a little nap here. I said, okay, just so long as you're okay. And I went trotting off, and he goes, Hunter. I said, yeah. He says, get back here. And I went back, yeah. He says, promise me something. Eyes still closed. Promise me something. I said, yeah, anything. He says, promise me you weren't about to give me mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. We laughed about that for years. And another thing about Joe Buck, Joe, I think, was probably an intern at about that time. That'll let you know how old I was. And he managed to somehow take my parking space in that garage because he was apparently running late as an intern. And I came running in late, and I see this car. It was not exactly something it was not a luxury car by any chance. And so I went upstairs, and I was a juvenile. I'm sorry, I was bad. I got lots of scraps of paper, and I wrote, "You idiot, can't you read? This is my private spot." All sorts, and I took Scotch tape, and I plastered his entire car with it. And he came up later, and he said, Mr. Hunter. I said, yes. He said, that's my car parked in your space. I said, you and I. But anyway, we shook hands over that. But Jack, wherever we were, I was with Jack later on, he would say, Julius Hunter, nice guy, but never park in his parking spot.
I always think about that's so funny. I always think about you all those days and being in that building. There were some big names in that building. I mean, my goodness.
Oh yeah, we did have a whole slew of people come through Channel 4 television there. But I actually started television in St. Louis in 1970 on Channel 5 television. That was KSD TV. But when you worked for KSD TV, you also worked for KSD Radio. So I got a really good a bit of training in 1970. I won't ask you where you were in 1970. Dare I? No.
I was born in 75.
Oh, thank you. I always get you young people reminding me of how old I am. Yeah, but there were a lot of people through there that I interviewed over the years. Gregory Peck, I was remembering, and I did some funny stuff with Chuck Berry. My first interview ever as a celebrity interview was with Pearl Bailey out at the Muni, and it was a hot August day. She was out there, and I'm a young kid. One of my first interviews, and I go running out with my crew, and I'm in a 3-piece suit. It's August. It's the Muni. It's St. Louis, and when I approached Pearl Bailey, she said, well, look at, what do we have here? I mean, is this little Lord Fauntleroy, or who are you, honey? And I said, I'm Julius Hunter from, she says, yeah, that doesn't impress me. She said, I tell you what, why are you dressed like that? 3-piece suit, summer, St. Louis, August. She said, well, I'm not going to talk to you until you take off some of them clothes. And so I took off my jacket and handed it to my photographer. I then took off my vest. Who wears a vest in August in St. Louis? Took the vest off. She said, all right, the tie is next. And I took off my tie, and then I said, you're going to let me keep my shirt on, aren't you? And she did.
You did so much through the years, and we're going to talk about growing up and listening to baseball on the radio, because we talked about Jack Buck, but you heard Harry Carey early on. But let me ask you about being an anchor, being a personality in St. Louis, and growing up here and loving this. What was it about St. Louis that kept you here and keeps you here today?
I don't do well in the really, really big cities, many of which I've visited. And I like the slower pace in St. Louis. I mean, it's getting to be a much faster paced place these days than when I grew up. I was born. All right, you have violin music here. You have any accompaniment?
I'm sure we can come up with it.
Okay, come on. I'll start the story, and you kind of follow me later.
Okay.
I was born upstairs over a storefront barbershop at Vanderventer between Enright and Belmar. And there was a wonderful sort of situation of neighborhood there. My school, the school that I went to, Cole Elementary School, was half a block away. fire station, half a block away. Roscoe McCrary's original barbecue place was across the street from me. And I don't think anybody would believe that directly across the street from where I was born, there was a fortune teller, Professor Verdure, and he would tell people's fortunes, I think, for like 50 cents. But I was a little kid, like 6 or 7 years old when I first found him, and he would read my little palm. And I think he said, "You'll never amount to anything." So, all right, that's that story. But also at Cole Elementary School, I was remembering the other day that a superstar came out of Cole Elementary School and the softball league there, and that was Nate Colbert. Nate Colbert. I'm sorry, Nate. It's morning for me. Nate Colbert, and that guy, those big old fat softballs. He could hit that sucker out of the park back then.
Big slugger.
Yeah, big slugger. And his sister Shirley, I don't know if Shirley's still around, but Shirley could hit the ball just as far as he could. But that was one of the guys I remember from the old schoolyard.
No, just those days of growing up in St. Louis and Cardinal baseball being part of the culture, and it is here today. I also want to ask you about why you were honored last night for your Lifetime Achievement Award and your pride in that. We're going to get into that as well and talk some sports and some baseball as well with Julius Hunter, a big part of our St. Louis scene, without a doubt. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX, having some fun. You know, a couple weeks ago, we had the Chief of Police, Robert Tracy. You got to visit with him and right. Hear about his life and some of the things that he thinks about our city. And now we get to visit with Julius Hunter, the legendary anchor and television personality here in St. Louis, honored last night at the ballpark. Great to see him at Busch Stadium, and now good to see him here in the studios of KMOX. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back more with Julius, John Mozeliak at 11:30, and at 11:45, it's Mizzou coach Oli Drinkwitz. I'm Tom Ackerman. This is Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
Next time your furnace or AC is on the fritz, you know what to do.
Call Jerry Kelly because they're fast. And just by calling, we'll be helping to end Alzheimer's disease. That's what those purple vans are all about.
Yes, Jerry Kelly is friendly too. They give a portion of every job they do to Alzheimer's research and support services.
So call the Fix It Fast guys at Jerry Kelly. Ask for the purple van and we'll all have it going on. Find out more at
jerrykelly.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, and you believed they'd be kept safe. But now you've learned the nursing home has violated that trust. You've discovered bed sores, broken bones, and infections. Your loved one did not receive the care they deserved. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect or abuse, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE. Onder Law, making a difference one case at a time.
Fall is in the air, and it's a perfect time for you to call Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. Whether you need something done before winter comes or you just want to plan for next spring so that you can have the best outdoor space on the block, Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the company to call. They do offer free in-home estimates, free project design, so they can help you put together the plan to make your outdoor space the envy of everyone, party central, or just your own quiet little refuge. Decks, patios, pergolas, sunrooms, screen rooms, fences, retaining walls. They can do it all at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. They have the highest quality materials. They have their own installation team, which is really important because they have years of experience and they stand behind everything they do. For the month of September, if you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll give you 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. Find them online now at chesterfieldfence.com.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
It was a bucket list item for Julius Hunter. And last night, it happened.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, LLC, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, a great law firm.
That is so well done.
Oh, God, I got it. I don't know why I always wanted to do that. I just always, out of all of the things that I've done. And as I said, I have had a wonderful career, which included speaking personally to 7 U.S. presidents and with a whole host of other people. I won't even try to remember everybody that I interviewed, but baseball and growing up in St. Louis. I was born, as I said, upstairs over a storefront barbershop between Enright and Delmar on Vandeventer. And now here's some math for you to do, Tom. I was 2 years old when Harry Carey did his first Cardinal broadcast. And that was a community event, baseball games. Every one of the neighbors on the block would put their radios out in the backyard and turn the radios up full blast for the ball games. And there would be picnicking out there. I mean, there would be barbecuing and corn on the cob and stuff on the roast. And we would always say that no matter what the Cardinals played, what kind of game they played on the field, Harry Carey played a good game in the booth. And it was a fun time for everybody to listen to Cardinal baseball. And what's beyond quadrasonic sound, pentasonic? I mean, what do you go up the scale?
Yeah, sure.
The number of radios out in the backyard turned up full blast.
Wow. Well, what was he like to listen to?
Harry Carey was a wild guy. I mean, I did not know the sanctity of the cow until Harry Carey started talking to us about the holy cow. And it might be, it could be, it is a home run. I mean, that taught me possibilities.
And Jack Buck was different.
Jack Buck was very different when he first started. I remember his first television game that he broadcast. And he said at one point, and Jack was very wry, he said, I hear we're getting calls from people who are upset with the fact that I'm not doing more of this play-by-play thing. He said, this is television. You can see it, can't you? Can you believe he would dare say that? Good old Jack.
Absolutely. You threw out the first pitch last night before the Cardinals beat the Guardians 6-5. Great to be back in the ballpark. I know Julius Hunter is with us in studio. You did that because you were honored with, at the Landmarks Association Gala, an award for lifetime achievement, your contributions to preserving St. Louis's historic architecture and culture. That's one of the things about our city that perhaps doesn't get overlooked by visitors. They notice it, but maybe we take it for granted.
Right.
When you take a look around our city, the incredible preservation that is in place and in some areas,
right,
it is remarkable, the look back at what we are.
Right. And I might call on everybody to come and form a hugging loop around the Wainwright building. I think it's going to be all right. But I would encourage your listeners, Tom, to link up with Landmarks Association, doing great stuff in this city of finding creative reuse of buildings and saving our historic architecture in St. Louis and our culture. We have probably the best brick field in the entire country. Number of types of bricks. At one time, there were 40, at the turn of the century, 1900 or thereabouts, there were like 44 brick manufacturing companies in St. Louis. And the brick stock is just beautiful. Look at all the natural coloration of bricks in the buildings in St. Louis. And please don't paint any more buildings, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't do that, or I'll have to read that disclaimer statement again. So,
what do you see for St. Louis? What can make us great?
I think we already are great. And one of the first things I told a group the other night at Landmarks, that one of, I hope, my first contributions to St. Louis was to get the writers at KSD and KSD TV to stop calling our airport Lambert Field. Do you know how long that went on? When we were Lambert International. So writers at Channel 5 and at Channel 4 really got blasted. I would say, this is not, does that look like Lambert Field to you? So I also did as much work as I could to help the new writers coming to town to mispronounce and pronounce the names of our cities, our streets and buildings and all. For example, we have Gravois. No, it's Gravois, ladies and gentlemen, of course. And that was by the way, that was the road to the city dump back in the day. But don't try to say de Bolivier. It's de Bolivar, doggone it, and for the German students who see Goethe, it is not Goethe, it's Goethe.
As someone who admired you growing up, watching you in my kitchen, like many people did at dinner time.
You were watching me in the kitchen?
I was watching you at dinner, anchoring the news. To be able to spend time with you and call you a friend is very special. And I think that you bring our city a class, sophistication,
thank you,
professionalism, and I'm so glad that you are in it, and I'm glad that you're here.
I will go no place else. Maybe no place else would have me at this point in life, but this is my city. I love St. Louis, and I hope that all of your listeners will do all that they can to talk up our city as we go around. When I go to the East Coast, and they say, "Oh yeah, you got that arc down in St. Louis." Yeah, right. It's the arch, 630 feet above the ground.
Reminding us to be proud, to think big, that St. Louis is great. And Julius Hunter with us in studio. It was great to have you at the ballpark last night. Great to have you here, and we'll make this a habit. We'll see if we can't stay in contact and keep something going. Nice Cardinals cap, by the way.
Oh yeah, I have a complete Cardinal outfit that I wore on the field last night. They had me mixed up for Fredbird at one point.
Yeah. You got the Hunter jersey?
Yes.
Good.
I've got them. I've got everything.
You got it all. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for having me, and I hope you'll have me back.
Absolutely. Julius Hunter.
Could be the Tom and Julie show.
We could do it right here on KMOX's Sports on a Sunday Morning. Coming up next, John Mozeliak, Cardinals president of baseball operations, and then Oli Drinkwitz, the head coach of the Missouri Tigers. Oof, they eked one out last night against Vanderbilt. It's all next on KMOX.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
KMOX Weekend at your service. Sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hi, this is Jeff Sachs with Sachs Financial. Do you have a plan for your retirement when it comes to your income so that you can live your best life? If not, go to our website and find out about our retirement compensation plan, retiresafestl.com, retiresafestl.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Seidman Cancer Center Spotlight. The director of Seidman Cancer Center, Dr. Tim Eberlein.
When they have a comprehensive cancer center, and of course, Seidman is the only comprehensive cancer center and only NCI designated center in the entire state of Missouri, and in fact, in this region.
Special thanks to Seidman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to seidman.wustl.edu.
There are nearly 70 million people that are currently using Medicare and taking Social Security. When you retire, you could be one of them. The question is, have you figured out how best to use these programs? That's where Steve All and the All Financial Group can help. Join Steve and his team on October 23rd at the All Financial Group office, where Steve will discuss Social Security. And special guest and Medicare consultant Scott Stream will present on Medicare. This event is complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Scott Stream and Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC are not affiliated.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, So is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Well, it was nice to reminisce with Julius Hunter for the last couple of segments. A good look back at Cardinals history through his eyes. Joining us right now, Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak. Good morning, Mo.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Julius threw out the first pitch last night. You had the Super Bowl champion Rams there. A couple of reasons why last night was fun and festive, as well as the Cardinals playing well. It was a fun game last night. You had a big crowd. It was energetic. And the young guys came through. That was a fun night, wasn't it, at the ballpark Saturday?
It was. Got a little too stressful at the end for me, but I suppose that's been our year, really. You think you have a 6-1 lead, you feel like pretty comfortable, and then bam, 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 and happened quick, and it became a lot tighter than I thought it needed to be. But glad to come out on top of it, and hopefully we can have a little bit of a repeat today, but with a little less stress.
Yeah, I know it's been a tough year. It's stressful games. The bullpen has been stressed, but boy, if they come through. If there's one thing you could walk away from this year and hold your head up, it is that the bullpen not only performed well, but I think was managed well. And I don't know what the future holds if you can keep them all together, but that's certainly for the most part seems like a good mix you have going.
Yeah, it definitely was one of our strengths. I mean, I think our rotation kept us in baseball games as well this year. I mean, like the biggest thing we didn't do this year was offense. I mean, we just were not consistent enough, and we didn't put up enough runs. And I think that ended up really being our Achilles when you look back at this season. So a lot's going to go into how we think about our future and what that looks like. But, we got a week left of baseball, and, hopefully we end on a positive.
And you have those final games here, these final 7 games to look at what some of that future could look like. You've now created a pathway for Jordan Walker. You saw what Ivan Herrera did last night. There are some players giving you an opportunity. It's an interesting balance that you'll have to have moving forward, because I know still want some star power, middle of the order. Star power really can carry a team. At the same time, you need to let these players develop. It's an interesting situation you found yourself in.
Yeah, it is. And I think that's something over the next, 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to take a lot of time and try to get a better idea of really what we want to look like and what our expectations are from this group. And, ultimately, as we prepare for spring training of 2025, a lot of work, but certainly looking forward to how the next 4 to 6 weeks really will transpire.
And when it comes to that rotation, I know those decisions are to be made here. You have some contracts to consider and all of that. You also have some players coming. I'm sorry to hear about Sonny Gray, although that's probably the best decision there, and it opens a door for Michael McGreevy. What do you think of McGreevy? I know you had high hopes for him early, and here he is. He's come through a couple times.
Yeah, I think for people that don't follow his career and they're kind of wondering like really where he's at, I think when we went into the 2023 season, we were hoping that we'd see that big step forward. But it took a year, and we really did see it this year. And, you think back to that start against Texas he had, it was outstanding. And then when he went back down to Memphis, he just kept pitching well. And so super encouraged about where he's at. And, I'd be shocked if he's not contributing in some form on our team next year, just based on how he's pitched.
Palante certainly seems like he's got a hold on a possible spot here as he goes today. Is there anyone else that really jumps out at you when it comes to pitching? I mean, obviously you've got a really good young one flying through the minor leagues right now. It's hard to put too much on him, but how do you see your pipeline right now in the minor leagues?
Yeah, I definitely feel like, Quinn Matthews is not a household name for Cardinal fans yet, but probably will be this time next year. I feel like we have some pitching emerging. Obviously, like if you think back to the name we probably would have been bantering about 6 months or a year ago might have been Tink Hence. And obviously he did not have that season that we were hoping for. There's going to be a plan for what he needs to do this offseason. So I do think, he is somebody that will be in consideration at some point next year in 2025. But, just speaking real quickly on Quinn, just how well he just dominated as he moved through each level of the minor leagues. So, everybody that got to see him pitch this year is just like uber excited about what he's capable of doing. And, obviously like anybody there's growing pains when you get to the big leagues, but just based on how quickly he adapted to each level, I think he's someone that is going to make really a nice transition to the major leagues when he gets that opportunity.
You made it very clear to me a couple of weeks ago on this show, draft and develop. You have to do it. You have to do it if you're going to be successful. And certainly that's an example of someone. I know that this is an overhaul, if I may use the word, or change that's going to happen. You have already announced the retirement of Gary LaRocque. I know how much you respect him, but that has created an opportunity. You told me that interviews are going to get underway here, that some things are going to start taking place in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it'll be a busy month of October as we look to really reset our front office. And obviously you mentioned Gary LaRocque, a dear friend of mine, was a tremendous asset to this franchise and really did a lot for us, especially in a time of need. And, I look forward to still working with him, but just in a different capacity. And, he really was a special person and loved the game of baseball.
You've been very candid about yourself, that your contract expires in 2025, that you alluded to a succession plan a while back that was going to take place. I know there's been an ongoing process. I respect the process. So I know that when the time comes to make a public announcement as to what that is looking like, you'll tell us. Is there anything that you can reveal about how that has been going?
Not really. I think at some point this offseason, we'll definitely sit down with everybody and sort of lay out what that all looks like. But in the meantime, I think the focus is the next 7 days. And then at some point we'll turn the page and then really focus on 2025 and beyond.
And, we've talked a lot about crowds and about perception, about optics, and what this fan base thinks and how you're trying to turn this thing around. Is that also talked about, how you are going to not only do things from a business standpoint, but present to your fan base and communicate with them what you are doing? Does that make a big difference to you? Do you want them to feel like they are part of this as well? Is that important?
Yeah, I think transparency in this particular realm is important. We're certainly grateful for the support we've had over the last 29 seasons under the DeWitt ownership, and we don't take that for granted. And so as we move forward, that'll definitely be something that is part of our plan or something we plan to share with everyone.
When I talk to Oli, he sounds energetic when he talks about these young players. Have you noticed that? What has he been like here as this playoff contention has fallen out, but he continues to move this team to the finish line here? How do you evaluate Oli?
Yeah, I'm obviously an advocate for Oli, so I think he does a really good job. I think this was a tough year. I don't think anybody, probably including Las Vegas, thought our offense was going to be how it was. So, that's a tough one. So, but to still navigate to where we are, I think he's done a nice job. Obviously we've had our fair share of injuries, not that other teams don't, but I think when you look at really where we are, there's a story to be told. But from a managerial standpoint, I thought he did a really nice job.
John Mozeliak, thanks as always for spending time with us. We appreciate it. We'll do this again when we can next week. And of course, you got a ball game today. We look forward to it, 1:15. Thanks as always.
All right. Thank you, Tommy.
John Mozeliak, Cardinals president of baseball operations, with us on KMOX. We will get to Oli Drinkwitz. He is the head coach of the Missouri Tigers, and he's going to be calling in 1 minute. And then we will check in with him after the commercial break to talk about what happened yesterday at Faurot Field. They're 4-0, but they had to squeak them out, those last two. Back after this on KMOX.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Broadcasting from the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Touchdown! Kansas City! Can't make it to Kansas City for the big game? No problem. Experience every Kansas City Chiefs game, like you're in the front row at Valley Sports Live in Ballpark Village. Join fellow Chief fans on game day and feel the roar of the crowd right here in St. Louis for the Chiefs. Chiefs watch parties presented by Jim Beam. Don't miss a moment of the action. Head to KMOX.com/events to reserve your table now and cheer the Chiefs to victory.
Max Shows presents the St. Charles Gun Show. Shop hundreds of tables and thousands of guns, knives, military surplus, tactical gear, and more. You gotta go to the Gun Show next Saturday and Sunday at the St. Charles Convention Center. Visit maxshows.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us, so we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. Dramatic sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned it from my adoptive mom. Hold my hand.
You hold my hand.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. You can't imagine the reward. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
McKelvey Homes is celebrating 126 years with big savings for you. McKelvey Homes, found at McKelveyHomes.com, was established in 1898. Get $18,980 off your new home, plus up to $10,000 cash at closing from the Carpenters Union. Hurry, these funds are first come, first serve, and they won't last long. Experience the legendary quality and move up to McKelvey. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
Welcome back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning.
Goldschmidt swings and he hits a drive. He hits a slammer.
Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs.
Billikens win! Billikens win!
Once again, from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. Cardinal baseball coming your way. 12:20 pregame. I'll have that. 1:15 first pitch. Tell you what, I was sweating it out yesterday in that Cardinals broadcast studio downstairs watching the Mizzou game. 30-27, they beat Vanderbilt in double overtime. The head coach is Oli Drinkwitz. Good morning, Coach. Great to have you back on KMOX.
Good morning, Tom. How are you, man?
Doing great. I was, boy, I'll tell you what, that was something. I was watching this game go back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
You come out of it 4-0, but I thought you put it really well because I stayed around for your post-game on-field interview, and they said, what'd you learn about today? And you said, we have a long way to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, here's the deal, man. I feel like you remember on the movie Gladiator when he yells, "Are you not entertained?" You know, just trying to keep the entertainment value high for all the fans. You know, it's like a Buffalo Wild Wings commercial, you know, just trying to keep that thing going for a while. But look, at the end of the day, you know, we're a group of guys, a group of team that's really tough, really resilient, found a way to win. It's not about how you win. It's about that you do win. And there's a lot of things that we want to do better as a football team, and we can do better. Starting with me as coaching, I made some really poor coaching decisions, but you win and learn, and so that's what we're going to do today and the better part of this week. We're going to find a way to continue to improve. But man, I'm super proud of this team, and I want everybody to understand I'm super proud of our football team to find a way to win last week and this week. There's a lot of teams that didn't win last night. In fact, there was over half of them. So, you know, it's a good deal for us to be on that right side of it.
Yeah, and the bye week comes at the right time, and you can get healthy and reset and try to figure out how to beat Texas A&M. And you just talked about a coaching decision. I won't harp on it because you already said it after the game yesterday. It was on you, what happened right before halftime, and Vanderbilt was able to keep that thing close. And just, you know, the inability, I guess, to close the door on some of those drives probably eats at you a little bit, as talented as your team is. And give Vanderbilt some credit. I mean, they're an SEC team. They're on scholarship too. But you know what the explosive potential of your team is, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal, man. We had a lot of people that expect and have expectations of what we should be as a team. You know, at the end of the day, we are who we are. And right now, we're not as explosive as we need to be. We have some elite players. We've got to get them the ball, and we got to execute at a higher level. You know, we're 4-0, and we'll continue to work to improve this week. But, you know, I think sometimes we have in this mindset that we just expect that we're going to go out there, and because the other team has a certain jersey on, that the outcome's going to be a certain way, man. They have a say in the fight too. And yeah, they're on scholarship. They're on scholarship in the SEC. They're really good football players. And, there's a lot of those guys that had something to prove. They had a chip on their shoulder, and they did it. That quarterback's a really tough Moxie player. So kudos to them for being in the fight, but kudos to us for winning the game.
Those are two really slick quarterbacks I thought you faced back to back. BC was tough. Bill O'Brien's got.
Wait till you see the next ones we're going to face. I mean, that's what you get into, man. In college football, they got elite quarterbacks, and it's an elite skill set because most of them have a really good ability to create with their feet, as well as get ball to the playmakers in space. So it puts your defense in a really difficult position. You know, the first half, we made a couple of fundamental technique errors with our footwork that allowed him to get on the edge to create explosive plays. And in the second half, and in that overtime first drive, we couldn't tackle him. And so, you know, that's going to be something we have to fix because the young man who's taking over the quarterback job at Texas A&M is explosive, very fast. And that's the name of the game moving forward. I think you can look at our schedule and say, there's a lot of really fast, explosive quarterbacks. I mean, South Carolina's quarterback came in. He looked unbelievable last night watching the highlights. So everybody's got good quarterbacks. We got to continue to improve.
Yeah, you're right. Arkansas has got a good one, no doubt. Oh, what about your quarterback? Did he come out of that okay? Is he healthy? I know he's a little down on how he performed.
Yeah, you know what? Brady's got to quit taking the weight of the world and the weight of the fans on his shoulders. I mean, the dude didn't turn the ball over. I watched a lot of football last night where a bunch of quarterbacks turned the ball over and cost their teams opportunities to win, and ours did not. And in clutch situations, he delivered for our football team. And I'm really proud of him. He's 100% healthy, so everybody can take that narrative off of social media. He's 100% healthy. He played a consistent game last night, and we're going to work to improve around him. But at the end of the day, he did exactly what he needed to do to get his team a win. And again, it's easy to point fingers at the quarterback when things don't go the way people expect it. At the end of the day, point the fingers at me. I'm the head football coach. It's my responsibility. But I struggled with his answer last night because that, he's trying to measure up to some outside noise and expectations. Man, he's playing good football and hadn't turned the ball over in a couple of games, which ultimately gave us the chance to win both of those games. So I'm super proud of him, and the best is yet to come.
And finally, I can't let you go without the big news that came across in Kansas City, the approval of the improvements to Memorial Stadium and Faurot Field. I know that's something you've been working on for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think our fans have really been the difference for us in the last 4 games, and specifically last night. The environment, the atmosphere that they've created at Faurot Field has been electric and special to coaches, to the players, to the recruits, and for our board and to continue to invest in our program, to continue to create an atmosphere that's going to be really second to none in the country. I'm super excited about and appreciate their commitment to us and for us, and just so appreciative of being at the University of Missouri and our fan base, because they've been on this journey with us, and I just ask that they continue just to be supportive. I know everybody's got high expectations because of our rankings, but and we'll get there. But every day is a little bit of a difficult challenge, and we just need everybody pushing in the same direction. And it's not always going to be a beauty pageant. It's going to be about getting the wins. So appreciate the fans, but really want them to continue just to be believe and be supportive as this team continues to try to develop its own identity and be the best version of themselves so that it can be.
Great to hear you on KMOX again. Hope to catch up soon. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks, Tom. See you, buddy. MIZ.
ZOU from Eli Drinkwitz on KMOX.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best, Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
I'm Brian Westbrook with Coalition Life.